prayer request forms. So if you have anything that's heavy on your heart, anything you'd like us to celebrate with you, if you would fill out one of those prayer request forms and put it in the prayer box, we will pray with you and for you all week. We love to pray here. So please feel free to fill one of those out so Reverend Yvonne and I can pray with you. Also, on the back table is a sheet if you would like to be added to our mailing list. And there's, I think, some cards back there that say what our link is to our Zoom meditation on Wednesday nights. Also, there are some newcomer packets for anyone who wants to know a little bit more about our center. If you pick up one of those packets, you'll find some information that tells you a little bit more about us. Again, I want to welcome everyone who's also bright-eyed on New Year's morning. That's wonderful. And we have some music for you. And we'd like
This is for you to
stand
sing
and join
also,
us.
so stand up.
Yes, I am here to live. Yes, I am here to serve. Yes, I am here to be the love of God. Yes, I am here to love. Yes, I am here to serve. Yes, I am here to be the love of God. And I know forevermore that I am love. And I know forevermore that I am love. Yes, I am here to learn. Yes, I am here to live. Yes, I am here to be the love of God. Yes, I am here to learn. Yes, I am here to live. Yes, I am here to be the love of God. And I know forevermore that I am love. And I know forevermore that I am love. Oh my God, I am the love of God. Oh my God, I am the love of God. Oh my God, we are the love of God. Oh my God, we are the love of God.
Thank you. Thank you. And let's just breathe that in, that we are the love of God and all of the children are the love of God. And so we want to bless the children within, the child within each one of us, the children of the world. So if you would join me in this blessing of the children. We see you, who you really are, made in the image and likeness of God. We cherish you, we support you, and we love you. And so in this place of love and oneness, let us move within, knowing truly there is only one life, one power, one presence. It is in the essence of the divine that we live and breathe and have our being, one with the one. God, who is light and love and peace and joy and health and wholeness. What I know is there is absolutely nothing outside of God. It encompasses and includes all things, all beings, all creatures. And so as we move through this ensuing week, we move through it with our hearts filled with joy and with love and with compassion and with understanding, knowing that each person we meet is a child of the divine, one with the one, knowing that we can look beyond circumstances to the truth of all, God who is love. I know that our week flows by easily, effortlessly, and joyfully as we are held in the loving arms of Spirit, and I am so grateful. I am grateful for the wisdom and the knowledge of the divine. I am grateful for the support and the strength of the one. I am grateful for the community in which we live, God beings. I simply say thank you as I release this word now to the perfect working of the perfect law, which always, always, and only says yes. Please join me in affirming, and so it is. Amen.
Yes, I am here to learn. Yes, I am here to live. Yes, I am here to be the love of God. Yes, I am here to learn. Yes, I am here to live. Yes, I am here to be the love of God.
Thank you. Thank you, our wonderful musicians. Let's give them some love. Lots of love. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. And what a great song, because that's what we are here to do, to be the love of God, each one of us. And Happy New Year. Isn't this something? The New Year is kind of like our birthdays. It's going to come regardless of whether we're prepared. It's going to come regardless of whether we celebrate it. It's going to come no matter what, right? Yeah. And it just depends on how we look at time. For some of us, time seems to rush by. How did that happen? I was still back in 1988. I guess I still was. And some of you weren't even born then. But isn't that interesting that we live from that idea of how we experience time? So a dear friend's daughter sent me a little, I don't know what they're called when you get them in a text, but it's something that someone else has written. Isn't that crazy? It's like a quote. Anyway, it said, one of the ways we can enter 2023 is we can walk softly. We can speak gently, and we can be present to the first moment and each ensuing moment. And I like that idea because usually I'm rushing to catch up, from 1988 to 2023. That's quite a jump, folks. I think I had a few children in between time, maybe a couple of husbands. You know how it goes. Life goes on, right? Yes, it does. But I'm so happy to be here with all of you all. It's just a beautiful idea that we can come together and be the love of God in form, be the love of God in action, be the love of God in expression, and we get to choose how we're going to do it in 2023. That is one of the things I love about the new year, is it's like taking a breath. It's like sitting down, taking a breath in the silence and saying, I'm the creator of this thing called my life. I'm the writer of this story, but I'm also the editor of this story. So what has been in my life up to the current moment does not have to continue in my life unless I choose it to do so. So it's that idea that we can start afresh. I mean, I look at coming into the new year with great intentions. And the great intention is always for me, for more peace in my life, for more ease in my life, for more joy to be expressed, and a sense of inclusion that passes all boundaries. So that's one of my intentions. But I always have to do the work to get anywhere even close to it, too. That's what this is about. I want to talk about that this Sunday. And this is what Samuel Ullman said. I think this is a good place to start. You are as young as your faith and as old as your doubt. You're as young as your confidence and as old as your fear. You're as young as your hopes and as old as your despair. That just gave me God bumps, because those are things that I think most of us experience in a lifetime. We experience hope and despair. We experience fear and confidence, and we experience faith and doubt. But as we move into this year, the idea is, and the theme, our theme for Center for Spiritual Living, Kalispell, Montana, is, drum roll please. Good job. It's living above the noise. Let's just breathe that in. Living above the noise. I've got God bumps like you wouldn't believe. Woo! Yeah, because the noise is the chaos. And the chaos is the challenge and the problems and the fear and the hate and the loss and the anguish. Living above the noise. Doesn't say we won't experience all of the noise, but we want to live above it. To remember that that's how we are created. We are created out of that which is whole, perfect, complete. And so therefore we are also. So let's welcome in this new year, and be, whether we're ready for it or not, but welcome it in as a new opportunity for life anew within us. Just like we celebrated the birth of Jesus, we celebrated that story, which is our story about our Christ consciousness, about our moving into a greater experience of knowing that we are designing our lives. Whatever we're living in and experiencing, we design our response to it. We can fight it. We can welcome it. We can ignore it. We can participate in it. Whatever we choose, it is our choice to do. So I see this as a time for us to reset stuff, reset ourselves, realign where we want to go, not where we've headed off the path to, or where we got stuck, but realign ourselves with our purpose in life, which is to be the expression of God in form, to your own delight, to the delight of your own soul. You choose how that'll look. You choose what you're going to do with it, because that's how we were created. We were created to choose how to create our lives. And then we will recommit to ourselves. It's really important that we recommit to ourselves. And one of the ways that we can recommit to ourselves is without blame. I should have done that last year. My golly, it took a long time for me to learn this lesson. Oh no, I made that same mistake again. No, let's recommit to kindness. It's pretty simple. Kindness. Kindness is a form of self-love. And when we're kinder to others, then we can be kinder to ourselves, and we will be. When we're kinder to others, when we're finding it within ourselves to be kind, to let the kindness bug out, to connect with the kindness factor, then we're doing self-love, because it comes back to us. It not only flows from us, but it comes back to us. So you see, we are designing and creating our own lives. So one of the things we get to look at in religious science, in this teaching, in what is called New Thought. Now remember, New Thought doesn't mean it just was thought up by somebody in the last century or 2 centuries ago. New Thought means it's what we're doing. What anyone can choose to do is bring up a new thought. Because we're so good at recycling old thoughts. We're so good at recycling other people's thoughts. Here's what we can do. Take a breath and have a new thought. The new thought might be, this is a great opportunity to move into a greater year. Last year wasn't bad for me, but I'm not opposed to greater, better, sweeter, more harmony, more love, more joy, more creative expression. I'm not opposed to that at all. More candy. Yeah. Sweetness. I love sweetness in my life. Yeah. So when we think of God as a concept, then we free ourselves from that yoke of religion, our human religious history. When we think of God as a concept, how else would we see it? Our minds must come up with something. And this allows us to not, when we think of God as a concept, then we don't think of God as out there. We think of God as in our world, part of our world, that which we are, that which we exist from. And it allows us to consider God as the creative force in our lives. It's the creative force of that which we are, the essence of that which we are. It's the universal principle that exists through everyone, that concept of God. God's all there is. How do we know this? We know this because there is a force that's back of everything. We know there is. Science has proven that. Science says there is a force behind everything. We call it God. Some call it the force. Some call it whatever. It doesn't matter. We're talking the same thing. But we also refer to it as first cause. And that's what this teaching is about. First cause. That which we go to with that idea of faith and trust and hope and believe in is the cause of that which we experience. So we're talking about first cause, the supreme mind, and the power that's back of all created form. I saw a really good example of that. It's like everything returns to first cause too. It comes out of and returns to first cause. A skyscraper comes first of all from the mind of an architect, right? Somebody had to think of it. An architect thought of it, and then the scientific knowledge that's passed down from the engineers to make it happen, and then the hands of the steel workers and the glaziers, and then back through the material that's born out of the soil itself. So you see, there was a thought. Where did the thought come from? The one mind, the power of all, that which is, and that which we are a part of. We live in a spiritual universe, and as such, God, all there is all the possibility and all the action in the universe. It is all that is. Now, I want to tell you this little story. Some of you have heard of here we go. I got a phone call last week, and someone wants to talk to people in the faith community about our faith. But before I got that phone call, I had heard the story about a guy who was traveling around the United States, and what he's doing is writing a book about all the faiths that exist in the United States, So he's, of course, going to large churches wherever he goes. But he flew out to San Francisco, and he started there, and he went to a large center out there, or church out there, and he walked in the building, and the first thing he saw when he came into the gathering room was that there was a golden telephone on a shelf. And right beside that golden telephone, there's a beautiful handwritten sign that said $10,000 per minute. I forgot the top of the first line was, heaven, connect to heaven, $10,000 per minute. So, of course, he thought, is this a joke? So he asked to speak to the minister, and the minister came out, and he said, no, that's not a joke. He said, we have a direct line to God, and it costs you $10,000 a minute. Oh, really? Okay. So he leaves San Francisco, and he travels around the United States. He goes to Chicago, and he goes to Milwaukee, and he goes to Madison, Wisconsin, and he goes to Havre, Montana. He goes all over. Same thing. Every big church he goes into has that golden telephone there that says $10,000 a minute to speak to God. Finally, he stopped at a center for spiritual living, and he asked to speak to the minister. So the minister comes out, and he says to her, he said, I see you have this same golden telephone that I've seen all over the United States, but yours says 25 cents per minute to talk to God? And the minister just smiled, and she said, oh, yes. That's because we know our connection to God, so therefore it's a local call. And, you know, we can laugh, and that's the truth of us. I love that story because it's the truth of us. We get these ideas, especially if we've grown up in a home or in a environment that says God is out there and you will be punished if you don't do this. And, you know, and whatever we've been told, oftentimes it created a separation, a belief in separation for us. And this story just cuts right to the quick of what religious science and many others now teach, is that there's a direct connection to God. Direct connection. And it's other stuff that man has put in that said, oh, you have to do this in order to be connected to spirit. You have to do that. You have to go through this. You have to go through them. No, there's a direct connection within each one of us. We are directly connected. We cannot be separate from if we are created out of it. So I love that story, and it speaks to us. So as we're moving into this new year, I think about how we're going to make any kind of change we want, whether it's a big change, a small change, a constant change, whatever it is we're looking to experience in this new year. And we're all, I think, looking for good. We're all looking for good. We all want to be part of it and experience it, contribute to it. And if we want to do that, I think one of the easiest ways for us to do that is to recognize that there is a power for good in the universe that is working for us. And the greater our recognition of it, the greater it can work through us. The greater we recognize it, the greater the power we have within ourselves to call forth that power. I just love this. When somebody calls me up and says, oh my gosh, Yvonne, it usually starts like this: you're never going to believe this, but. You're never going to believe this, and they tell me about a good they received. They tell me about a good that they know about, and I love this because it should be the norm for us when we recognize that we are capable of having that much good in our lives, but we never want to take it for granted. We want to always be able to appreciate it. So I'm so excited when I get these phone calls because I get to appreciate that they are recognizing and appreciating their good or the good that they've seen or experienced. And then I get to call people and tell them my good. I was so excited a week ago when somebody drove by with one of those Boss things on the front of their truck to push snow, It's called Boss. Anyway, they saw my son out there, my son who's had many surgeries on his back, and he was trying to chip the ice. It's kind of hard when you're standing straight up trying to chip the ice. And the guy stops and he says, would you like some help? Before we knew it, he cleared out this ice and snow that had piled up in our driveway, and absolutely would not take any payment for it, and just said, Merry Christmas. Who was he? We have no idea. We have no idea who he is. But it's just one of those wonderful things, wonderful things. Was I expecting him to stop? Absolutely not. What I was expecting, my good, was that I'd be able to go out there and clunk it down when my son wasn't watching or paying attention. Yeah, because I don't want to do that when he's paying attention. You see, that wouldn't be our good. But those, it could be the most simple thing, and it could be the greatest thing. It's all good floating around, waiting for a place to land. There's so much good out here waiting for a place to land. And when we're focused on what isn't working, what we don't like, we're missing out on it. We're missing out on it. And we're just human beings we're beautiful human beings, not just human beings, but we are here just having this human experience. So when we want to be aware that we are creating, that we are responding to what we believe is the truth in front of us. We really are. We're responding. Whether it was, whatever it is that we're seeing as in front of us, we're calling it our truth in the moment. Well, let's look at what it is that we want to draw forth this year. What it is we want to experience, whether it's today, tomorrow, or you have a timeline that's 6 months down the line. And in order to do that, I have to look at why I don't have that. Why aren't I experiencing, say, more ease? I don't experience ease many times because I want to be in control of what my child is not doing right. I want to help her. I want to make it right for him. And so what is my intention this year? Not to get them in alignment, not to redirect them, but to get myself in alignment. So if I want more ease, I'm going to allow myself permission to not believe I need to be in control of everything. You are my witnesses. I might have to have it tattooed right here. I don't know. Yeah. So in order to know what we want, we need to go deeper and know what's keeping us from that. So sometimes we look at things and we want to be in relationship, but we're afraid. So if you want a relationship this year, whether it's with your family member or, a partner, whatever, your neighbors, what is keeping you from that? Is it fear of being rejected, fear that you won't be accepted or whatever? Whatever it is, we want to look at what it is because that's what we want to let go of this year. That's what we want to let settle down so that it isn't the driving force within us. Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you. If you'd get me the water. So as you came in today, you were given a piece of dissolving paper. We used to have a bowl that we did fire in. But one time somebody got scorched hair, so we don't do the fire, the burning bowl anymore. We use dissolving paper. And what I'm going to, thank you, DJ, thank you so much. What I know is if we think it and then we speak it and we write it, it is in our consciousness. It's in our subconscious. We're aware of, thank you, the covenant we've made with ourselves. So I'm going to invite you in this time to, on your little piece of dissolving paper, write a word or a phrase or something that you think is keeping you from enjoying the good that's available to you in life. It doesn't matter what you write down that you think is a barrier. That's what I'd like you to do. Write down what you feel is a barrier. So are you judgmental? Are you fearful? Are you mad? Are you disappointed? Are you racked with guilt? Do you think there's not enough? Are you lonely? Whatever it is that you don't want to continue to carry with you, I invite you to write that down. maybe you have a lot of doubt, and so you can't trust. Maybe you don't have as much joy in your life. Well, maybe you could quit complaining. I mean, it's just a thought. It's whatever resonates with you. I had a friend that I thought complained a lot until I was complaining about her. Sometimes that's how we see what our little foibles are. Someone will reflect it back to us. So when you've written it down, you're just going to hold it for a second, and then, Don, would you please? Thank you. We're just going to breathe into this, and I'm going to do a little prayer right here. Because what I know is that everyone here that's written something down, everyone anywhere, and whenever we do this, whenever we commit ourselves, whenever we make a covenant with ourselves, to allow spirit, to allow love, to allow peace, to allow joy, to allow goodness, which is another name for God, goodness, to be that force that we are aware of, that we are aware we are that force in our lives. Whenever we do that, we are being kinder to ourselves. And when we're kinder to ourselves, we can be kinder to others. And then it comes back and we're kinder to ourselves again. And so this kindness moves us into a greater experience of good. And so for whatever it is that we've written down on our piece of paper, let us just bless it. Let us just bless it. If it was crankiness, let's bless it. If it was harshness, let's bless it. And bless it just means we just put into that cauldron of love that God is, that there's always room for our pain, our hurts, our disappointments, our anger, whatever it is, our losses, there's always room to be held in the arms of God. For we cannot be separated from that love. And so if you would like to bring your paper up and drop it into this bowl of water, it will dissolve. And it's just one way to release. It's one way to honor the covenant with self. I am willing to be my God self today. I'm willing to experience the good that is my divine right. For I was born not of original sin, but of original blessing. We all are born with the original blessing. And therefore we'll claim that. We'll know it. We will understand it as we open to that truth. So if you would like to bring your paper forward and allow it to disappear into the water. Thank you. And one of the beautiful things about it is you can see you're not alone. We all have these human experiences. And sometimes we have to shake the water a little bit. That happens because that's our part once we've let it go. And this is a beautiful thing we can do. And we can do it at home, or we could do it with our friends. We can do it on toilet paper and flush it down the toilet if we want. It's a good practice. Just don't light your hair on fire. Oh. And so now to bring this into the covenant that we have with life, with our self divine, I'm going to ask you to repeat after me. I am a living embodiment of divine intelligence. I am a living embodiment of divine intelligence. God intends only goodness for all. God intends only goodness for all. I willingly participate in the goodness of my life. I willingly participate in the goodness of my life, and I willingly contribute to the goodness of others. And I willingly contribute to the goodness of others. I am as God created me. God created me. And so it is. Amen. Thank you, Dawn. Thank you so much. Put some.
Every step is sacred, every moment new. When my heart is open, I see God in you. Life is a mystery unfolding every day. My soul's evolution, the gift upon my way. When the world seems crazy, when the hard times come, then we know for certain that we all are one. Life is a mystery unfolding every day. My soul's evolution, the gift upon my way. There is so much beauty, it's time to be aware. When I trust in spirit, I find my shelter there. Life is a mystery unfolding every day. My soul's evolution, the gift upon my way. My soul's evolution, the gift upon my way.
Jamila, thank you so much. Isn't it amazing how much talent we have here in our center? It's just so beautiful. Thank you. Thank you all. So we've come to that time in our service where we get to put into practice the law of circulation. So I'd like to ask you at this time to take your tithe, your gift, and your offering in your hand and in your heart as our usher comes forward. And join with me in this prayer of giving and receiving. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God, and so it is. So I want to thank everyone who joined us today online, and we're looking forward to seeing you again next week. Next week, we'll be participating in our white stone ceremony, so you don't really want to miss that. So we want to invite you to come back and join us, and we love you, and we bless you, and thank you.